If everyone would please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody's got a flag somewhere. All right. Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
for all. Okay. Shannon, if you'd start with a roll call of commission members.
Chief Brown,
Here.
Chief Gregory, Chief Amon,
Here.
Ms. Venker,
Here.
Mr. Conley.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. So we'll go ahead and move forward. Before we ask for approval of the agenda, I just received momentarily ago some sad news. Apparently there is a line of duty death of a St. Louis City firefighter just moments ago. So I'd like to ask for a moment of silence, remembering the St. Louis City firefighter and all of our first responders. All right, thank you. Does anybody have anything that they would need to add to the agenda? All right, hearing none, do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as submitted?
This is Matt. I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
A second?
This is Chris, I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign? All right, public comments. As part of our agenda that was sent out and the notification that was sent out, with this being a WebEx meeting, anyone who was wishing to make public comment was provided with information on how they could provide comment via email. We received no notice of anyone wanting to make public comment at this meeting. So we'll move on with the agenda. Everybody should receive a copy of the minutes from the December 16th, 2021 meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments on those meeting minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted?
This is Deanna. Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as submitted.
All right, do I hear a second?
Second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, motion carries. Reports of officers and committees. Does any commission members have any items that they would like to bring up at this time? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to standing committees. Governance committee, there's nothing to report from the governance committee. So we'll move to the budget committee. Mr. Conley.
I don't have anything. Did the county approve our budget?
They did approve our budget, and it's actually been loaded into our software that lets us see it. So that was done yesterday.
Moving in the right direction.
Yep.
There we go. Any questions on the budget that any of the commissioners have? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to director's report. Mike?
Thanks, Chief. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. First things first, I expect as early as tomorrow, we may get the confirmation of another added commission member.
I did.
Okay. I'm getting an echo off somebody, so if you guys aren't talking, if everybody can mute their phones and computers, see if that makes it go away. Okay. With the holidays and a run of COVID through our building, it's touched just about everybody in here over the last month. I'm going to keep the report as short as I can. We really didn't have a lot of progress on anything due to those two, due to the holidays and COVID. We kind of slowed us down on some of the stuff we were trying to get done. With that said, our financial report, the 2,800 and 5,800 funds are in the packet that Shannon sent you. Those reflect 2021 numbers still, as I think it takes a month for us to really, or a few weeks into the new year, the next report we run will reflect spending and expenditures from current year. The funding sales tax, I think that's in your packet as well. It shows the November returns, or what we get back in January. They were up about 14% over last year. So we continue to rebound from the ugly COVID year of 19 or 20 rather. The 1% wireline and the 3% prepaid, as it's early January, those reports aren't out yet. They haven't started in with them. Hopefully February meeting, I'll be able to show you any monies that we've taken in for this year. Really all I have under the financials. The project updates, pretty status quo. Siren test was last week on the 3rd. We had our normal 1 or 2 complaints, checked them out. No major issues with our 204 sirens. The radio, our radio guys are still working on the AES upgrades and fleet map reprogramming for law enforcement. They're cruising right along, all things considered. We're down to about 25 municipal police departments left after this week. And Ed's telling me they're still looking to be done probably around the end of April. So that project keeps moving, and guys are doing a great job getting that done. Now they're doing it in the cold weather. Also on the radio side, just as an update, our radio system gets upgraded. We paid for some upgrades through the maintenance years, and this year we'll be getting, in June, we'll be getting our infrastructure updated to a version 21, a version for 2021, which is the current version that's running on systems like ours. So we'll get that update. There'll be some routers and some client PCs. I think they'll be changed out by Motorola, but that'll all be done in the background, and users won't know what's going on for the most part. The next 2 upgrades, I think, are scheduled over 2024 and 26, as we do them every couple of years. In our GIS department, the State of Missouri 911 Board hired a consultant called Geocom. They hired them to kind of evaluate 911 across Missouri, county by county. They hired them to make some recommendations on next-gen 911 functionality from a statewide perspective, and develop a 911 standard, next-gen 911 standard for the state of Missouri. Well, as you know, we've been building our next-gen out around a NENA next-gen 911 standard. Missouri has said, and it is following that same NENA standard. There might be some adaptions or add-ons that are Missouri specific, but at this point, there's no action that we have to take. It looks like they're going to come up with some kind of recommendations of exactly what we're rolling out. So that's good news, and we continue to stay engaged with the state 911 board as they move forward with the recommendations from Geocom. Network side of the house, we've pretty much wrapped up phase 1 of our Nokia project to replace some of our charter circuits. Phase 2, as I've told you a bunch about, is we're looking at dark fiber, so we're still working with a consultant on that. Hope to get an RFP together this first quarter of this year. Nokia also has given us some quotes on upgrading our current microwave that's in place. They've quoted basically all 7 counties involved in the backhaul microwave. We work closely with St. Charles and Jefferson County. We're continuing, and James is going to really focus on this as he's got a great grasp on Nokia and how they do things, but we're working with them and working with our partners on ways to kind of analyze the value of the quote that we've got from Nokia. We don't necessarily feel it's where we want it to be. So we're going to have some back and forth with them and with our partners over the next couple of weeks, and try to sharpen some pencils, I guess, on quotes, and we'll have some future updates on that as we get them. The Genesis project, which is basically the red button alert, that's kind of taken a hit this month. We had hoped to be trying to deploy that in January, but with the staff shortage and the holidays, it's just not happening. It's probably going to be something we're looking at getting out in February now. Okay, I'm kind of running pretty fast here. If anybody's got any questions for me, I'm going to let David with in his consultant report coming up kind of talk. We'll do a little discussion about some next gen 911 status and where we're at. If you have questions for me other than that, that's the end of my report, Chief.
Okay, David, you want to go ahead?
Yes, thank you, Chief. Brief update as Mike stated, James has completed phase 1. So the next step in that project is to receive the invoices and then we will submit those for reimbursement because we are working with the state grant on part of that project. The other state grant is the text to 911. That project is moving along. We have received the pre-configured routers. They are actually at Hannah Road now, and we are scheduling those install over the next 2 weeks. Once that's done, we will do testing in February on the text to 911 solution that we'll be integrating to all the PSAPs. The other project is the next gen 911 migration. We were scheduled for data center acceptance, doing some testing this week. Unfortunately, due to COVID, several of the testers were unable to test negative, and so we were unable to do the testing this week. So we have rescheduled that for the end of February. All the technical aspects are moving forward, so we are prepared for testing. Ironically, now it was a personnel issue of getting enough people there to do it during this COVID presence. So that is scheduled for the end of February. With that, our overall schedule looks to doing the migration of the PSAPs starting in May through June and doing the related training on that in April and May. We will have exact dates once the testing is complete, but that is the general overview on that migration timeline.
Mike and David, this is Matt. When we are putting together the schedule, once you have a confirmed, start process for the munis, can you guys take a look at perhaps, there are several muni PSAPs which are in limbo with getting their CALIA certification for dispatch because we cannot get the accurate call data information from the current 911 system. So the sooner that we can get on the new system and start accumulating that data, the sooner we're going to be able to get CALIA certified. So I would like, barring some technical, reasoning why those dispatch agencies that have, talked to you guys about this issue, why, we can't get put at the top of the line because it's a huge problem.
Yeah, we don't foresee a problem with doing that. As you said, after we do the backup facility, which is our pilot project, we'll be moving. There's one that needs to be moved for technical reasons, but the rest we can prioritize as you outlined.
Yeah, Matt, it shouldn't be a problem. We had a discussion internally with Comtech and David the last couple of days, and I am aware of a couple of those CALIA issues. I think I'll have further discussion, maybe reach out to the others that might have those same issues and just feel them out. I've only really heard of two, so it shouldn't be a problem. We'll put them up as close to the front as we can.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So David, that completes what you've got, right?
That is it. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Mike or David, either one? Okay, hearing none. Does anybody have anything else under those reports? No? Okay. Let's move on to old business, next gen 911 surplus equipment.
Yeah, so the operations committee met this past Friday. Thank you to all those that attended. If you've got people that are on those committees, I know that was the day the Stratford Inn decided to catch fire. So some of the fire representatives really had to pull some strings to get on that call, but they did it, and so we were able to get some things accomplished. One of the things we talked about in the back of your all's packet or emailed packet, there is a list of letters and emails to me and to the commission requesting use of some of the surplus next gen 911 answering positions. I reached out. Basically, we knew of every one of these requests I'd previously known about. We may have had previous letters and previous discussion about. We now have a policy 21. I don't have it in front of me. We have a policy that addresses our surplus equipment, policy 2121. It deals with what to do and how to make requests for any surplus equipment that we have. Currently, we have enough surplus next gen 911 answering positions that they're surplus because of consolidations where places like Crestwood, Ladue, Glendale, Overland, to name a few, DePere, I think. So when they closed up, that equipment basically got pulled from their sites and it's sitting in our garage. So in an effort to get them back out there and used, my recommendation is that I recommend it to the operations committee, and then they had discussion over these requests, and generally they meet the policy 2121 of explaining why they needed them. So that list is before you. I think you'll see letters there from Central County, Ferguson, Hazelwood, Kirkwood, St. Anne, Maryland Heights, and West Central, along with a single position for St. Louis County PD here as well. So the operations committee discussed it and they recommended approving these. So by policy, the operations committee makes the recommendation to you all, and it's up to the commission, obviously, to decide to go forward or not with those requests.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a
This is
motion.
Matt.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead with the passing on of that equipment as outlined in the letter.
This is
Okay,
Matt. I'll
Second.
second.
motion. The second, I saw Deanna raise her hand, and I thought I heard Matt say it, so we'll give it to Deanna. I heard her, or saw her. Is there any further discussion? Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. All right, motion carries. Any other old business? None. All right, going on to new business. Any new business at all? Anybody else? Mike?
No, sir.
Okay. For the next meeting, with the retirement of Chief Carabas bylaws, we're supposed to elect officers in December or when is reasonably needed. At the next meeting, we will need to do the election of officers, but we'll need to have it posted on the agenda if you'll have that done for the next meeting, Mike. So, and that'll give everybody time to think about how they want to hide, so you won't get nominated or elected.
Greg, do those nominations need to be in before the meeting, or do we make the nominations at the meeting?
You can make them at the meeting.
Okay.
So, okay. Does anybody have anything else that we needed to discuss before we adjourn? And hearing nothing, our next meeting is tentatively scheduled for February the 10th, 2022. I think with the information we're getting out of the health department, we probably better plan on this same format of WebEx. So wait and see as Mike puts out the agenda and the information. No one has anything else. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Adam.
Matt's got the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 If you're opposed, you're going to be looking at a blank screen because we're going to turn it off. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great month and